Afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great. Those of you that know me, uh, you know how it's goes here with the flow for this. We'll go through a little introduction about XenTegra, and then I'll give you a little quick introduction about myself, and then we'll hand it off to our partners here from Cameyo. Rob and Jordan are both with us. And then again, if there's any questions that you have that come up through this, please let us know in the Q&A section. And this way it makes it easier for us to track and also be aware of what your questions are. And if there's anything we need to follow up on, we'll have a record of that. So QR code to our YouTube page. So you'll see that on our other slides coming up here in a couple of minutes. So the other thing I want to address, and this is the first time running this as a background, so I already see where I need to edit my slides. So we had the work has no boundaries. This raffle is back up again for this year. We'll be making announcements about the raffle when it actually occurs in 2023. But if you aren't aware, it's your chance to win a free Bronco. If you go to the workhasnoboundaries.com and register for the raffle, there's some additional steps and things you may have to go through as far as it relates to our meetings and setting up micro assessments. Cameyo would be a great one where you would establish a call with us and review things. So you'll be able to see that from our page here to be able to go in and take a look and see what you need to do to be entered for that raffle. Way. The winner will be selected post-webinar, and you'll be notified by our friends at Cameyo that they'll be able to tell whoever won this. So make sure you're active within this. You have any questions, bring them up, but really get some participation in. You know, this really helps us know where the content is and what's happening within this webinar. So XenTegra, who are we? XenTegra, we're a reseller, services provider, solutions provider. We do a lot of things across the board. Really what our sweet spot is within the digital workspace, digital trans. By Andy Whiteside here above my head. Andy came from Citrix, where he was an SE. And he saw that there was a void in the market, in our industry, as far as it relates to enablement. You know, there's just been this, you know, I've got a partner, I'm a software company, you know, deal with this partner, they'll set it up, and that's it. Where we bring value is enablement. When I use the term partners, it doesn't relate to only our ISVs and all of our software solutions and hardware solutions that we offer. You're a partner as well. Our customers are our partners. We want to make sure that we're not working in vacuums, that we're involved. This is not just a one sales deal for us. We're in to help you with the strategic planning, multi-year business solutions that you're looking for as far as your environment is concerned. We do the value-added reselling for all of our services and all of our solutions that are offered. We have professional services, engineering side of the house. We'll do implementations of those solutions. Managed services, we have our own XenTegra Connect, which is our cloud services that are out there. So we can host your environment. We can manage the environment from a supportability standpoint. This is options we can do through our hosting side of the house. And then, like I said earlier about during the raffle, is that we offer these micro assessments. And what we'll do is these are gratis to you, where we come into the environment, we'll give a high level assessment of the environment, we'll give you feedback, and we'll give that in a formal SWOT analysis to be able to review with you to help you with what steps you're going to approach and take within the next levels. And it also comes into that strategic planning. We're also wrapped around in the public cloud and helping you out with that planning. Obviously, those responsibilities and those application mappings that are out there. So lastly, we work with out there as well. I'm from Baltimore. I live in Baltimore. I've been pretty much a cloud evangelist for going on a long time now. Old guy, 25 plus years in the industry, spanning everything from your admin side of the house all the way up to consulting, architecture. Most recently, I came from Citrix, where here's a catchword for you, worked with the global enablement team, where I helped with getting technical knowledge transferred to internal technical resources at Citrix, partners in the community, as well as customers as it relates to EUC in the cloud and Citrix Cloud Solutions. I got a ton of dad jokes, but we're not going to get into that one today. And then I have a unique possession of my Zen and my geekery of what is out there from technology. And also, yes, I've got my and I believe, Rob, you're going to kick us off. Let me just stop sharing my screen here. Okay.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and start sharing. All right. Everybody able to see this?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you for the intro, John, and nice to meet everybody. Thank you guys for taking time to join us this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Rob Henshaw. I'm the CMO here at Cameyo. Appreciate everybody taking the time. And yeah, you know, John, Andy, and the XenTegra team are really top notch. So, you know, I think most of you already are aware of them if you haven't worked with them. But if you have not, when it comes to the digital workspace, you really can't go any better than working with the XenTegra team. So thank you guys for having us today. We appreciate it. So I wanted to just give you just a few minutes of a quick overview and background on Cameyo before we jump into the demo. We really want to spend most of our time in the demo, not in slides, so that you can actually see the product in action. As John mentioned, go ahead and drop any questions you have along the way in the Q&A section, not the comment section. And we'll be monitoring that throughout the demo. If it's something that we think needs to be addressed right away, we'll go ahead and dive in. Otherwise, we may save questions to the end. So with that, I'll just dive into a quick little bit of background. So in terms of where Cameyo sits, there's, you know, the way that the industry analysts talk about things, there's VDI, there's DaaS, and there's virtual application delivery. Cameyo falls in that third category of virtual application delivery. For quick, you know, definitions of how, you know, we look at those things, VDI, traditional VDI, is non-cloud native delivery of Windows desktops. Traditionally managed, self-hosted, self-managed by the organization. DaaS is cloud native delivery of Windows desktops, but traditionally fully hosted by the vendor. And where we sit, where Cameyo sits, is in the virtual app delivery category, which is cloud native delivery of non-Windows desktops that can give you access to all of your apps, including legacy Windows apps, as well as internal web apps, SaaS apps, everything on any device, either as PWAs or from the browser. And that can be either fully hosted by Cameyo in your choice of Google Cloud or Azure, or self-hosted in any environment of your choice, any cloud, in your on-premise environment, hybrid, whatever you got. So that's kind of the breakdown of of where we sit. And so when you think about, you know, between VDI, DaaS, virtual app delivery, why Cameyo? So at Cameyo, we're really focused on the hyper-secure delivery of cloud desktops, enabling you to provide all of your apps to all of your people, regardless of what device they have in their hands, while avoiding the cost, the complexity, and security issues of traditional Windows-based virtual desktops. And we also do this without requiring VPNs. So we really focus on four things: being super simple. You can deploy Cameyo in a matter of hours in terms of having your first application published to your users. We're ultra secure. I'll spend a little bit more time on this on the next slide. We have a very deep zero trust security model at the core of our platform. It's very important to us. I'll talk a little bit more about that. We are incredibly cost effective. So we're traditionally about 70% more affordable than traditional VDI and DaaS. Some of the ways that we're able to do this are that and Jordan will cover more of this in the demo, is that we are not a one-to-one VM, a one user to one VM model. We can have dozens of users per VM for traditional productivity apps, CPU-based apps, and we can have up to 10 users per VM for more graphics intensive GPU-based apps. We also have built-in elasticity and usage optimization so that we can dynamically spin up and down servers based on the need of your organization, so that you're not paying for 24/7 servers when they're not being utilized. We're also incredibly flexible. We kind of work with whatever existing technologies and whatever cloud environment of your choice. As I mentioned, you can fully host Cameyo. The fully hosted version of Cameyo is in either GCP or in Azure. And then you can self-host Cameyo in any environment of your choice, any cloud, any hybrid, any on-premise environment of your choice. I'm going to touch a little bit more on security before I pass it over to Jordan. So here at Cameyo, this is one of the things that sets us apart. We are incredibly committed and passionate about security. Our founder and CTO, Eyal Dotan, has spent his entire career in the computer security space. He's got 13 issued security patents to his name. His last company was sold to Avanti. It's now the Avanti endpoint security product. So he's been doing this for a long time. It's something that's very, very core to who we are at Cameyo. So on the right here, we have a bunch of the Cameyo-specific security innovations that we have baked into our platform. Things like cloud tunneling, which incorporates a proxy between the Cameyo server and the end user device. We have Cameyo Port Shield, which automatically closes all of your ports to the internet and then dynamically opens and closes them for authenticated users. Our no VPN technology separates your user's device from the corporate network. We also have Rapid Recovery, which is a service that enables people to instantly transition from a self-hosted environment to a cloud-hosted environment for business continuity in case of a ransomware attack. Now, all these things on the right are Cameyo product innovations, but as we all know, zero trust is not a product; it's a practice. So I'll quickly cover off on some of our security principles. So we practice complete isolation and segmentation. We separate the app from the device. We separate your user devices from your network. We separate Cameyo sessions from your network and from your data, all of it. So completely separate. We also prevent lateral movement of people once they have access to your apps because they don't have access to your network. We have always on monitoring. So one of the things that we do is we have non-persistent servers that will wipe all of your users, all the data from each session as soon as that session ends. We practice least privilege so people don't have access to your admin settings. And we also integrate with whatever SSO and multi-factor authentication provider you need to use for identity and access management. For any organization, so we are one of only 4 Chrome Enterprise recommended virtualization solutions. So if your company is either actively migrating to ChromeOS devices, or if you're just Chrome curious, even just for a subset of your users, we work very, very closely with the Chrome Enterprise team. We have a lot of joint integrations that we've done with them. So our Cameyo for PWAs enables you to publish any application as a PWA incredibly quickly. We do that through our Google Admin Console integration. Within just a matter of 2 clicks, you can publish an application, any application as a PWA, regardless of whether or not that application has a PWA. We also have native file system integration with ChromeOS, so that users on a Chrome device can access everything and have just a seamless native app experience as they would. We can sit here and tell you about Cameyo all day and how great we are, but urge you to check out G2. We've got a bunch of reviews up there. We are ranked as a high performer in both the VDI and DaaS categories. G2 doesn't have a virtual app delivery category yet, so we'll see when that happens. And we're also in both the VDI and DaaS categories, we're rated as the best ROI. users most likely to recommend, easiest to do business with, and best meets requirements for VDI and DaaS. So recommend you taking a look at what people have to say. Our customers are always the best indication of what we do. Definitely won't go through all of this, but as a quick reminder, we've got these case studies: Fortune 500s, healthcare, retail, every industry that you might want to be interested in. We've got these and dozens more on our website. Urge you to check those out, or by any means, just reach out to us. Happy to provide you any case studies specific to your industry, anything that you need. So with that, I am going to pass it over to my colleague Jordan to dive into the demo. And as a reminder, any questions that you have, drop them into the Q&A. We'll answer them either immediately if we think that it's something that might be preventing us from moving forward, or we will address them at the very end of the session if we think that they can wait. So I'm going to stop sharing and pass this over to Jordan.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. So Rob went through and talked a lot about, what are some of the things that make us unique. But I'm a visual person. I love just jumping into the demo and showing you some of these details. So we're going to go through, we'll talk a little bit about how we can host applications. We'll go talk about all of those things that Rob talked about in his slide around security, ease of use, and flexibility. So one thing I want to show you here is how easy it is to use from both an end user perspective as well as an IT perspective. So I'll show you both. We'll start with the end user perspective. They would get a nice dashboard just like this that you see here. It would be a cloud desktop, if you will, and then the tiles represent the applications that they would get access to. All of this is done through an HTML5 web browser. So we make it very easy for you to access applications, and it can be accessed on any of the devices that you have, including Chromebook. So you'll notice that I'm on a Chromebook using Chrome to be able to access these applications. What I would do to access them I'd log in. So you'll see I'm authenticated up here at the top, and then get access to that through the web page. I just simply click the tiles to get to those applications. When I click the tile, you'll see a splash screen. It will connect to a server. It'll be a secure connection, so you'll see HTTPS up here. And it will all be done through, in this case, it'll be done through the web browser. And then I'll be able to get to an application that's running in the cloud. So for instance, I'm using Word as an example, but this is a full Windows version of Microsoft Word. And you'll see all of the compute happens in our data center. But as an end user, you'll simply be able to interact with this application just like you normally would. Now, the difference between us, as a virtual application delivery model as opposed to a VDI model is we're not sharing the desktop in this case. We want to keep the users in the app. We want to make sure that their job function is not confused by multiple desktops and so forth. So we want to make sure that they can continue to use applications, but in alternative models. And in this case, what we've done is not only are we running the application in the cloud, but we're also saving all of the documents and data itself in the cloud. So we've integrated, and this is a patented technology from Cameyo. So we've integrated directly into some of these cloud resources, like for instance, Google Drive. We also support OneDrive and Dropbox as well. I'm going to go ahead and in this case, I'll just simply save my document directly to the Google Drive, and then that will just get uploaded right into Google Drive. Same with a file and an open. What I would do here is I would select either Teams Drive or Google Drive here. I would go to the folder that I'm looking for and then just simply select a document. Each one of these documents are in their native format, so we're not converting them to the Google Docs, if you will. So if it's a PDF or if it is a Photoshop or an AutoCAD file or a file of your choice, all of those would get saved right into their native format. Now I can just open this file, make any changes in the document and go ahead and save it out. Lots of different options, and all of these options that you see here are configurable by you as an IT administrator. So if you want to support those cloud options, you can. You can also support like a backend file server if necessary. And then there's a couple of options here that we can support the device itself. So for instance, we can use this download option that would just simply download it using the browser mechanisms, and then I would be able to save that to my local hard drive. So you'll see that in a second. There it goes. So that downloaded to my local device. Same with an upload, we have a drag and drop feature that would work. Or we can incorporate directly with the browser into your system. So this is a newer feature where we can actually go to my device. I can select a folder on my device, and then that folder would just be included in our dialog box on the server, and I would get access to those local resources. So plenty of different ways to save documents, including the cloud resources, which is very popular, and back-end resources in the device itself. Now, these are all configurable by you. As an IT administrator or as controlling this environment, if you don't want people to save to these locations, you can limit the choices that they have, or you can expand those choices. So something that makes it easy for you to manage the documents in your environment. The other thing I'm going to show you here is printing. So if I do a file and a print, we have something very straightforward and easy to use, which is our Cameyo virtual printer. What it will do is it'll take the print job and it will pass it through to the browser. So you'll see I've got my browser dialog, my print dialog box here. I would just select a local printer driver and hit print. In this case, I'm not going to hit print because I keep printing out on my local printer here, which is my home printer. And my wife keeps asking me why she has these print jobs on the printer. So anyway, that's pretty much the end user experience. All of this happens within the browser. We've made it very easy. I'll show you a couple of different ideas on how we can distribute applications, including the browser. And then the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how we can install applications and get them up and running in your environment very quickly. So what I'll do is I'll go back to this Cameyo environment. So you'll see this is the portal. All of these applications that you see in this portal are ones that I've installed for the purposes of our demonstration. So Cameyo comes as a blank slate. You'll need to create servers and applications and then deploy those applications. So first step in this is that I need to create a server. You'll see I've got a couple of servers already created. To create a server, you would click the add button or follow the wizard at the beginning of the process. And then you would get two options here. The first option is this green box. This is our fully hosted option. So you'd be able to select a data center. That would be a Google data center. And then once you have that data center selected, you just hit the Create Now button. The server is automatically created. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes. It will be a Windows server when you're done. And then just to kind of peek between some of the new features that we're going to see very soon, you'll also be able to support Linux on the back end as well. So that's option one. You can use our servers. Option two has a couple of different options in it. So this is our self-hosted option. Option two means that we can provide a lot of flexibility as to where you're hosting applications. So if you've got an existing on-site data center, you can use that. If you've got your own instance of GCP or Azure or AWS, you can use that. So if I click on Get Started, this is the manual method to be able to install that. What I would do is I'd provide a clean server. It needs to be a Windows server, and you'll see a couple of the versions you can use. And then once I've got that server prepared or created, I would just simply hit the download button here in the article and then follow the instructions to install it. And once you've logged in, then that server will appear in the list that we saw of servers, and then Cameyo would be able to just manage that server. So that's the manual method of providing your own server. But we also have something called BYO, which is bring your own GCP or bring your own Azure cloud. That's a little bit different. You can tie your instance together, and then you would use this green box to automatically create servers in your instance. So that's a very good option if you've got existing resources in cloud data centers as well. Okay, once I have the server, it'll appear in this list. So here's my list. So in this case, I have this server here. Over here on the right-hand side, what I need to do is I need to install software. So I would click the action button, say connect as an admin. For our demo, I'll use this server. Once I connect as an admin, it will load up in a new tab. We'll get a familiar interface. We'll be logged in as a local admin for this server. So you can see it's logging in. And then it has a nice place for you to follow the directions, and it's really straightforward. Number one, get the software package there. It can be an exe or an MSI, or it can be a collection of files, a zip file if you need to. Number two, you just install it and configure it like you normally would on a Windows machine as if it's a workstation. And then number three, over here on the right-hand side, you would find your software package and just check the box. I'll do a quick example so you can see it. I can either drag and drop my software package onto this box. In my case, what I'm going to do here is I'm just simply going to open up a browser. You'll see that that browser is on the server itself. I'm going to go to Notepad++. We'll do something simple so you can see it. And then so this is going to a vendor's website. And then once I'm in the vendor's website, I just go ahead and grab the software package that I need. Let's click this green box here. Once I've got that installer package on the server, I just run it like a typical Windows installer. Let's do the click through, ignore the license agreement, hit install. Okay, that was pretty quick, but you can see, you just take your time setting up your software as you need. Then the other thing too is that you can run it in this interface. So if you need to make changes, if you need to set preferences, if you need to install registry settings or additional files or template files, or if you need to connect it to the backend, like if you need to connect it to databases or backend file servers and so forth, you can do all that in this interface. In this case, I don't need to do much. I'm going to go close the application and the browser. Over here on the bottom right, you'll see Notepad++ now appears in this box. I just hit the plus button, hit apply. It says it's now available in my portal. I'm going to go back to my web portal here. I'm going to click on apps, and you will see that new application is now shown up. I'm going to click on the I button here for the administrative tasks, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that we can distribute that application. The first way is easy. You can just simply show that in the portal. So as an IT admin, I need to make sure that gets distributed to the people who need the application. So I would check this box. The other thing that I can do is I can set up restrictions so that people who don't need to get access to the application will not get the permissions to do so. So if I want to say only the engineering group or only the sales group gets access to this, I would set up restrictions to get, and then only they would see that application in their portal. So that's method one, is using the portal. Method two, you'll see up here at the top, I've highlighted a link. I can just simply copy and paste that link. I can put it in an email. I can paste it in a URL, whatever you need to do to distribute that. If you want to post that on your, on an internal website, if you want to, there's lots of things that you can do, but you'll see I'll get direct access to this application. If I wasn't authenticated, it would prompt me for authentication, and then I would get access to my Notepad++. So that's a really easy method as well to distribute that application. And then one thing while we're here, I just want to point out that that dialog box is automatically put in, so we can save to our cloud resources. And then there's a third method that's fantastic for things like Chromebooks. So if you want to adopt new models, if you want to adopt less expensive hardware that's easier to manage, you can do that through those Chromebooks. And so that's a great way for you to be able to use the Google admin to distribute that. So what I would do is I would just simply copy and paste this into my Google admin portal, and then I can distribute that to all of my end users. What it would do is it would create a progressive web app, and you'll see a couple of places that I can put those. So for instance, I've got two of them here. Here's a Word, an Excel, actually three, and a Cameyo portal. You can also put that right on the app shelf as well in Chromebook, or you can put those on PCs and Macs that have Chrome Enterprise installed. So lots of flexibility with progressive web apps. And if I launch a progressive web app, you'll notice that it will look a little more native. You'll see a borderless browser, if you will. It'll prompt me to log in to Cameyo if I haven't done so already. And then you'll be able to get direct access to that application. And then that application will work just like an application should work in a nice little interface. So lots of ways that you can distribute that application. The other thing, we talk a lot about security. So how do we make sure that only the applications that you deploy are accessed by those who get authenticated and get permissions to do so? So up here on the top right, you'll see authentication. You'll see plenty of choices once you claim that domain of places of SSO, excuse me, that will be available to you. So you'll see Google, for instance, you can use your Google credentials or your Microsoft, that could be Azure AD or Office credentials. And then you can also use, of course, Okta or any type of custom SSO if you just put in that information. So lots of ways to authenticate. That way you can get your entire organization on Cameyo. It's easy to distribute. You don't have to manage users manually. So it makes it very easy to use and consume applications through Cameyo. And another great thing here is if you're using Google Chrome Enterprise or a Chromebook or ChromeOS, if you're already authenticated into that device, then that just passes right through using those Google credentials. Makes it very easy. And then you can white label it if you want to upload a logo and so forth. Now, here's the other thing too, is don't confuse simplicity with the lack of complexity. So, and what I mean by that is that there's lots of ways that we can provide services to you. And we want to make sure that you get something that will grow with you, something where you can be able to deploy applications and do this at an enterprise level. So once you create that initial server and you've installed the software, you can treat that as a gold master. And then what we would do is we would automatically duplicate that server as many times as we need to do load balancing. And this is called an elastic cluster. So if I have a peak time, say, you're a retailer and you need additional resources during Black Friday or end of quarter or something like that, then we can automatically create additional servers to handle that load and capacity. So, once you've filled the resources of this first server, say you get 10 users on it, then we would create a new server. So we can handle tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of users, and we can grow as quickly as we need to be able to do so. And that's an automated process. You don't have to do anything or touch anything to be able to get access to those elastic clusters. So some really great technology. We've made it very easy from an IT perspective to deploy applications that are critical to your business and give those applications securely into the hands of those end users who need those applications. That's most everything that I show, but if you do have questions, you're welcome to put those questions into the chat or into the Q&A. We'd be happy to take those. Rob, I'm kind of turning it back to you. Did you see any questions along the way?
This is great, Jordan. Thank you very much. You go ahead and stop sharing your screen.
I thought I did. I'll try again.
No
there we go.
Seeing one of me is enough. No, that was great. Thank you very much, Jordan. I have not seeing any questions in the Q&A yet. By all means, anybody who has questions for Jordan, questions for me, please drop those in now. One thing that I wanted to share, and I'll drop this resource into the chat so everybody can grab it. This is a white paper that we put together specific for any organization who is currently using Citrix and may be looking for an alternative. If you're happy, that's great. If you're concerned about Citrix's future, or if you maybe when you started using Citrix you had hundreds of applications, but now you only have a few dozen and you just want to simplify things and reduce some costs. This white paper goes through a bunch of scenarios on kind of the difference between Cameyo and Citrix and what you might want to consider. It also has a lot of customers in there who talk about their experience switching from Citrix to Cameyo. So that's just a resource that I thought I'd share with you if anybody is interested. And yeah, it looks like we don't have any questions thus far. We can, by all means, go ahead and give people your time back. If anybody wants to stick around and ask questions, we can certainly hang in there. Otherwise, by all means, reach out to myself, reach out to Jordan, reach out to all the great reps, your reps at XenTegra. They are there to take care of everything and help. So let us know what else we can answer for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, oh, sorry, John.
Real quick, before anybody drops off, I got some last minute stuff we're going to go through. So we'll cover that once both Rob and Jordan are done, and then I'll let you have time back.
Fair enough, John. Just a real quick, promotion. The XenTegra reps are amazing. They would be able to help you with this process. We do offer a 30-day trial if you want to go take Cameyo out for a test drive. So if you like what you saw today, go ahead and contact either, like Rob mentioned, either Rob or myself or John or your local XenTegra representative. We'd be happy to help you through that process.
Definitely.
And apologies right off the bat, everybody. I'm in the hotel, so just
No worries.
grin and bear it. All righty, so let me get in here. All right, I'm just going to do a sloppy share real quick. Okay. So obviously we don't have any other questions. So what I want to do here is cover some housekeeping real quick. We've got for December, closing out this year in 2022, webinars we have on 12/7, keep it at 1 p.m. Eastern time, Remo 3 on December 14th at 1 p.m. Our workshops and boot camps for December. On the 13th, we have app layering done right with Liquidware, Nutanix, Era, technology boot camp as well on 12/16. So just make sure that if you want to get involved in these, go ahead and sign up. You'll see the QR code that you can go ahead and scan that, and that'll take you to our landing page for events. This will wrap us up for the 2022 year. So look forward for the schedule for 2023 coming. I know we have some exciting stuff coming out for next quarter. Also a reminder, the giveaway today, the winners will be notified afterwards for the gift card. So be aware of that. Look forward into your email. Make sure that you get involved with this, and then everything will be good to go. And those winners, if you're not a winner, come back again to the next webinar and we'll see how it goes for you. And last one, again, work has no boundaries. If you go to the website for that or from our main page, again, Cameyo would be a great one where we line up some call or review some items with you that will help out with your registration. So if you want a free Bronco, why not give it a try? So with that said, I'm going to wrap it up here. And again, Jordan, Rob, thank you so much from Cameyo being here and presenting for our community here. And thank you everybody in attendance today. I appreciate your time.
Our pleasure, John. Thanks everybody for joining.
You bet.
And to our friends
thank
from
you.
Who joined today, good luck in your match tomorrow in the World Cup.
Bye, everybody.